let's talk about what we agree on. Iran is not a happy-go-friendly country, and when you're listening to this show, I don't want anybody to make the mistake of thinking, oh yeah, we think Iran's no big deal, or we think Iran's on our side, or Iran's going to help us out. That's crazy. Of course not. The question is, how do you deal with an enemy? And the way you deal with an enemy is we have the better system, and you let time work in our favor, and as we did with the Soviet Union, you work them down. You work them down. You talk to them. You figure out how to limit them, how to restrain them, how to control them, how to contain them, and then you let freedom do its work. And you instead of saying, "Hey, let's do regime change. We're going to kill you. We're going to take you down. We're going to take out your government," and do those kind of threats. The only thing that's going to do with Iran is alienate them and make them into a harder enemy. Instead, what you could do is what we did with China and what we did with Vietnam after we lost in Vietnam.
Executing homosexuals, because China doesn't execute anybody.
Oh, yeah, of course. And China executes more people than anybody else, but we do trade with them. And I
Most favored nation status.
Right. And so, I think doing trade with China is the right thing. I think doing trade with Iran is the right thing. What you do is you engage them and you let time work in our favor. We've done it over and over. We know what works. America became the greatest country on earth, not by accident, not because we didn't know what we were doing, because we did things that worked. We did the Marshall Plan that worked. We did containment that worked. What doesn't work is going into other people's countries and thinking that if you bomb them, they're going to come on your side. It didn't work in Vietnam. It hasn't worked in Iraq. And it wouldn't work in Iran. In fact, it would be even more disastrous.
Well, let's talk about
what you do is you make a deal with Iran, and parts of that deal is, and you absolutely insist on it, Internet, satellite dishes, phones, whatever kind of free trade we have with Iran, make it times 10. Because once you let freedom in there, they're not going to be able to take it out. As Larry pointed out, a majority of the population of Iran, this is an amazing stat, over 50%, is under the age of 25.
35, isn't it?
No, it's under 25. That's what's amazing about it, okay? So you give them the Internet, and you let them watch the Bieber shots of, Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears and whoever else is doing it. Believe me, over time, they're coming to our side. They don't have a choice. Those horny 25-year-old boys and under, they're coming to us. If you let them, instead if you push them and you shove it in their face and you go, I'm going to bomb you, I'm going to bomb you, you're axis of evil, how do you think that they're going to react patriotically?
Right.
As anybody would, as we would. They're going to rebel. They're going to hate us.
As he just said, and he even admitted, Larry did, that the notion of that the Iranian people support the Bush administration now after what's happened in Iraq and this notion that there's this war on Islam, it's ridiculous. Of course they don't. But he says they don't like the Bush administration, but they love America. That is a distinction that I would not be betting a ton of money on right now. Ultimately, of course, it's correct. But right now that they're drawing that distinction, I hate the Bush administration, but I like Kerry, and I like the rest of America. That's ridiculous. They think we're imperialists. And it's understood. So this notion that if we attack them, what he says is we need to appeal to them. Ultimately, it's clearly headed. He was clearly headed down. If we'd had 15 more minutes, the same direction. They're all headed down. Which, if we'll bomb them a little. That's all we'll have to do, and the people will rise up.